Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about mounts, and more specifically we're going to talk about the 4 brand new mounts of the Siren Isle coming in patch 11.07. In this video I'm going to give you a full guide on all the mounts coming in this patch. A lot of them are pretty easy for the most part and some of them are super nice as well. But before we jump into that, guys, I do want to shout out the Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft or within 11.07, 11.1, we're on twitch.tv/MrGM. Right, so yes, the Siren Isle, the brand new zone of patch 11.07. This is where you're going to be spending most of your time if you are a collector or someone that really enjoys rings that can upgrade up to mythic level. But I've done videos about all of that. Let's talk about the mounts. Let's talk about the mounts of the Siren Isle, of course, the most important part of World of Warcraft. And there are 4 to collect on the Isle, so let's just jump into it with the first one. And the big ticket item of this patch, that is of course Thrayir, Eyes of the Siren, also known as the Stormcrow mount from 5.4 data mining in Mists of Pandaria. So yes, this is a mount which was data mined back in Mists of Pandaria and is finally coming to the game with the Siren Isle. And how do you get this mount? Well, it's a fun little secret which was obviously been figured out during the PTR. So to obtain this mount, you need 5 rune keys from around the Siren Isle. The mount is actually located in one of the rooms of the Forgotten Vault. You'll go there during the questing, so you'll know where that is. And it is just laying on the ground surrounded by some pillars that you need to activate. So it takes 5 rune keys to activate this mount. Once you've done that, you will obtain the mount. So let's talk about where these rune keys come from. So the first one is the Whirling Rune Key. This is actually one of the easier ones as it just drops from an NPC inside the Forgotten Vault in the southern room. This guy is Ksvir the Forgotten. Pretty easy to take down solo. I've left the coordinates down below if you are trying to find him. But yeah, it's a 100% drop and that will get you the Whirling Rune Key. For the Torrential Rune Key, this just drops simply from any mob inside the Storm Phase. The Storm Phase is unlocked by completing a world quest, which is kind of the zone-wide world quest. Once that's complete, you can go into the Storm Phase, and this is just a random drop from any mob inside that, so you're likely going to get it pretty soon into just kind of doing the general questing and things like that. So yeah, that's the Torrential Rune Key. The next one is the Thunderous Rune Key. So these actually come from 5 fragments. These fragments come from the runed storm caches inside the storm as well. So as you're running around, you kind of have a wave of light telling you where the rune storm caches are, and just keep opening them until you get all of the Thunderous Rune Key fragments. Now this did originally drop from the Seafarer's caches, however it looks like it's no longer doing that and simply just has a chance to drop from the Rune Storm caches, and it's probably going to take you a little bit to get all 5, and once you get all 5, combine them and create the Thunderous Rune Key. The Cyclonic Rune Key drops from a rare inside the storm. This is from Zek'ul the Shipbreaker, coordinates down below, and this is in the Deadfin Mire in the western side of the island. It's a pretty big mob. You should be able to solo it, but if you can't, just get some help and that will drop the Cyclonic Rune Key, so pretty easy to get that one. And finally, the Turbulent Rune Key. This is actually obtained by combining 3 fragments which are found around the island in like various different places with a ghosty Coords. So the first one's in the garden on the house on the hill. Again, I'll have all the coordinates for these down below for you to smash into TomTom and find these nice and easy. But yeah, it's just a pile of mud on the floor. The next one is in the Rotting Hole Cave, just on the floor there. Kind of small on the floor, but yeah, hopefully you can target it and loot that one. And then the final one is in the Spirit Scarred Cave, in the hand of the ghosty Coords. The entrance to that cave is on the outside part of the crystal in the map. Again, coordinates are all down below to collect all 3 of those. Once all 3 are collected, of course, combine them and create the Turbulent Rune Key. So that is all 5 rune keys. Once you have all of those rune keys obtained, head into the Storm Phase, head downstairs in the Forgotten Vault and head to where Thrayir is, and just click all of the runes, and then you'll be able to accept the quest and obtain the mount. This is a very cool mount, of course, a skywriting mount. Very, very cool indeed, and finally getting it in the game. It does feel very, very nice, and it's going to be kind of your big ticket item of the Siren Isle. The next mount we're going to talk about is the Prismatic Snapdragon. So this is actually a new Snapdragon which works similar to the Mechagon cat mount. Remember that one that you can change the colors of? Yes, with the Prismatic Snapdragon, you can change the colors of this by feeding it different types of meat. The specific places to find that meat has not really been found yet, but no doubt once the patch launches, people will find those pretty sharpish. But to obtain this mount, you need to do 10 days of dailies. Now, these don't have to be done in a row, but you will have to wait for the next reset for the next quest. So make sure you are kind of doing them as and when. These dailies start from a Snapdragon, which is in the main camp with a quest called a Lifeline. And this is simply just to speak to Zek'ul Fingersnap and get the Kaja Cola braised meat. So day 1 to 3 will be a quest called Hungry Snapdragon. This is a pretty simple quest just to obtain meat from any any beast on the island. So pretty simple one there. On day 4, the quest will change to a quest called Snap to It. This is to get 5 meaty rations, and these drop from any of the pirates, Zek'ul, or Naga on the island. So any of the humanoids that kind of rotate on the isle, you can just grab those. Day 5 and 6 will be Hungry Snapdragon again, so killing beasts once again. Day 7, the quest will change into Temper Like a Tempest, which will make you go into the storm phase to obtain meat, so make sure you're doing that on day 7. Day 8 and 9, once again, will be Hungry Snapdragon, so you're going to go back to killing beasts. And day 10, all you have to do is speak to the Snapdragon, and that will give you a quest that will give you the mount. A very cool mount. Nice to see the Snapdragon mounts coming back in the Siren Isle patch, of course, first introduced, I believe, in Nazjatar, and this one, as said, does change from just feeding it different colors of meat, which is actually really cool, and a nice, fun, and easy mount to obtain. Our next mount is a bit of a long one. This is the Breaker's Song mount, which is a kind of recolor and slight redesign of the Dreadwake mount, and this is obtained through the meta achievement of the Siren Isle. So let's go through some of these achievements for the meta achievement. It's not massively difficult, and some of them you're just going to get naturally through playing the island. So the first one is a Song of Secrets. So this is to complete the Siren Isle questline, a Song of Secrets, and this is simply just to complete the introduction questline to the Isle. The next one is Serenity Now. So this is to complete all of the following weekly quests on the Isle. There are 17 quests in total, and this is just to complete all of the quests on the island. There are 3 different phases of the island: Naga, Pirates, and Zek'ul, which will rotate every 3 days. Every 3 days, you will get different quests, so make sure you're keeping on top of those. There's also quests inside the Storm phase. Basically, if you see a quest, complete it, and you're going to be able to do this achievement pretty easily. Next one is Excavation Project. So this is to contribute to each of the following excavations on the Siren Isle command map. So the major excavation system is just a system on the Isle where you contribute the new currency to the excavations, and that blows up a cave, which gives you a kind of mini boss type thing. The map is just in the middle of the main camp, and all you have to do here is just contribute 5 flame blessed iron to each of them, and you just got to do it once. So pretty easy to do there. Just make sure people aren't sweeping them up too quickly, so you get a chance to actually contribute. Next one is called Cleanup on Isle Siren, which is a fantastic name. This is to defeat all the rare creatures found on the Siren Isle. So there are 16 rares in total. These do rotate with the 3 different rotations of the map, and of course there are some in the Storm. So you just got to keep on top of the rares that are rotating with the 3 different phases of the map. The Storm phase will always be the Storm phase, so that's not going to rotate. So once you've done all those, you're kind of done with that. But there are 16 rares in total. None of them seem particularly rare. You just got to kind of make sure you're getting them once they are up. Next one is Treasures of the Storm. So this is to open 10 Rune Storm caches found around the Siren Isle. As mentioned before with the other mount, you're going to be doing a lot of these anyway to get the rune keys. But yeah, it's literally just run around, and if you see kind of glowing light, make sure you're opening that cache. You just got to do 10 of them. This system is kind of unlocked during the questing fairly early on as well. So yeah, it's just kind of a natural thing that you're going to be doing around the island. And all you got to do here is open 10, and the achievement is done. And the final achievement in the meta is a Choir of Citrines. To complete this achievement, you need to collect each of the citrine gems on the Siren Isle, and there are 12 in total. And these are obtained through various activities like major excavations, rares, quests, chests, basically anything on the island. Most of them have been found on the PTR. I don't think all of them have just yet, but no doubt when the patch launches, there'll be extensive guides on how to get all of those. But certainly it seems like a lot of them will be obtained through fairly basic things on the island. So yeah, that's the meta achievement. Once that meta achievement is completed, you will of course get the Breaker's Song mount, which is a very, very cool looking mount indeed. Of course, a skywriting mount, of course. So yeah, that's the meta achievement for the Siren Isle, which also is pretty achievable actually as a meta achievement goes. So that's nice to see. And the final mount on this list is Soweezi's Vintage Waveshredder. This is by far the easiest mount to obtain because it is simply just purchasing the mount from Soweezi, who is in the camp, for 10,000 Flame Blessed Iron. This is a recolor of the Goblin Surfboard mount, which was day mined, I believe, back in Dragonflight, if I'm not mistaken. But certainly a very cool looking skywriting mount, and just simply 10,000 Flame Blessed Iron. You're going to get so much of this currency through the questing anyway, so 10k is going to be super easy to obtain. So yeah, a very nice mount and a pretty easy to obtain. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is the 4 mounts of the Siren Isle how and where to find them. Let me know down below if you have any tips or tricks on how to get these mounts a little bit easier, but for the most part, a lot of them are fairly simple and very achievable, which is nice to see. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, War Within, Patch 11.1 PTR, Patch 11.07, and more, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.